How's it going, Reef Keepers? Hope everybody's doing well. I don't have a coral lens on right now, but you can get a pretty good idea of how the tank's doing. Things are doing good. Things are growing well. Things are, not sliding sideways on me. Everything looks pretty darn happy. So I'm happy when it comes to reef keeping. But I did recently I've made a series of small changes recently, and one of the changes that I made was to my mechanical filtration. So I have officially gone back to using filter socks, just standard water box filter socks. I don't love filter socks as a solution. I never really have. I could try to get rid of them and go to Rocky Mountain fish filter cartridges, which I think work pretty well. I will say they're not as fine as these filter socks. So there is like some finer silt-like material that does get through them, and you do have to clean them out every 2 or 3 days, which is essentially just like filter socks. And there's a key difference when it comes to cleaning out a cartridge like the Rocky Mountain one versus filter socks, and that is with the cartridge you have to hand spray it out, which is not a big deal, but it's easier to just throw filter socks in the washing machine, put a hit of bleach in there, and just run an extra rinse cycle, and then they're done. You just dry them out, and whatever bleach is left is neutralized, and bam, get them in place. So I came to think that, taking this apart and scrubbing it out the same amount of times as I have to take out filter socks and wash them, eventually it was like, well, it's just easier to wash the filter socks. So I reverted back to these, and they are, like I said, a little bit finer. So I'm not seeing as much detritus kind of getting through. I'm seeing actually no increased detritus since I put in the filter socks. Probably because they're made to fit these holes perfectly, which is cool. So something that I did not admittedly give enough time to really give a honest review on is this guy right here, which is an IC Live filter roller. And I'll be honest with you, sorry about that noise. It seemed to work fine until I needed to switch the roll. And when I went to switch the roll on the IC Live filter roller, it was kind of frustrating. And I'm sure it would have gotten easier, had I figured out how to do it and stuck with it, and then I'd known how to do it going into the next time and the next time that I needed to switch the roll. The roll is not incredibly expensive, but for the amount of fiddling that I was doing, I kind of got frustrated with it. And I was just like, you know what? Unless I did a big filter roller, which I'm not going to do, because it would take up so much room, right? If I did like a Red Sea filter roller and kind of popped out these components and put a Red Sea in there, unless I go big with a filter roller, I'm really not going to go filter roller. I think I'm going to stick with the socks, despite the fact that I don't really love the socks, because I am struggling to find really a better alternative that is less work for me. The IC Live filter roller required daily manual cranking, which is really easy to do, but I did have to remember to do something every day as opposed to every 2 or 3 days. And I will say this for the filter socks, I have noticed, and again, I don't have enough data to say this is definitively what is happening. Here's my ORP graph on my Apex. So you can see that the trend is generally good, and this is about where I installed the filter socks. So considering the ORP rising gradually and having come up and stabilized at a higher level since I installed the filter socks, my thought process is that the DOC situation in my tank water must be slightly better, right? Not leagues better or anything like that. And again, I haven't run, real official, pay-to-play tests on this system to know whether or not that's exactly what's happening. But it is correlated with the installation of the filter socks, and that leads me to believe that, maybe maybe that finer mesh and that really good seal that I'm getting around the holes right here, because those filter socks are, fit precisely to my system. Maybe that is having a good impact on overall water quality, but specifically DOC, which is probably driving up my ORP numbers. So anyhow, it's a development, and I'm anxiously awaiting the academic year to start so that I gain a little bit of time. I'm not constantly chasing my kid, and I can get more videos out to you guys. But I had a few minutes today, and I just wanted to update you on that situation. So I got a bunch of other little tweaks that I've been working on lately, and I'm going to have a whole series of videos on all the little changes that I've made to my system this summer. This summer, despite you guys not seeing some of it yet, trust me when I say it was kind of a transformative summer, as far as all the different little tweaks and little adjustments and improvements, I think, overall that I have made to this system. And the stability of the system and the happiness of the coral and some of the growth that I'm seeing start to take off. You'll see some of that in the update video that I do just after August begins. It leads me to believe that a lot of these little careful tweaks that I've made over the last couple of months are generally making things head in the correct direction. So, all right, guys, have a good one.